Hello and welcome to... Oh, microphone, fuck. Hello and welcome to another TV licensing video on doing stuff and filming it. This is the part 2 of letter number 9. Well, yeah, screw it, yeah, we'll call it video number 9. It's not actually video number 9. Oh, I don't know. This is part 2 of the letter number 9. This is the bit where I go through your comments. Hopefully this one will be a bit shorter than the last video I did. For one, I'm not going to be messing around with the various hats. That was a lot of effort and I don't think that many people found it all that funny. Yeah. I had a good laugh making it though. But yeah, let me know if you found the hats funny. Yeah, I'm always happy for feedback. Also, I'm only going to be doing comments that were made since my last comments video, so there should be far fewer of them. So yeah, let's just get into them. I'm going to do them this time. I'm just going to do them in the order that I see them on the comments page, rather than putting them into categories like I did last time. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Alright, so Andy Meadows commented on the TV licensing news number 2. This was one about TV licensing harassing Claudia Lawrence's mum. And he writes, TV license fee ends in 2027, so we have less than 4 years until it ends. The BBC is dead. Yeah, Andy, I've heard that is on the cards, but as I put in my comment, we do have a general election coming up between now and then, so everything could change anyway. Whether or not scrapping the license fee in its current format will actually shut down the entirety of the BBC, I doubt it. I think the BBC's here to stay, but I think within the next few years, the next, say 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a huge transformation. I think the TV license fee, as it is at the moment, it's almost closer to a tax now than it is an actual fee for it. I think that's going to be changed and the BBC may end up going subscription only. But I might be wrong, it might carry on for another 50 bloody years, who knows. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, I've heard that as well, but until it actually happens, yeah, I'm not going to believe it. Alright, next up we have Dave Venables. He's commenting on TV licensing number 1, man thrown out of court in row over TV license fine. The fine must have been for not attending court. He does not need a TV license for owning a TV. It looks like bad reporting to me. I agree, I remember that article. Yeah, it was pretty poorly written. It's one of these small newspaper sites that's... Well, I'd be surprised if the paper itself is even still in print, and or if they're just running it as a website. But unfortunately, they rely heavily on ads. Whenever you go to one of those sites, you get so many ads, it's ridiculous. And they also rely heavily on clickbait as well, whereas the actual content is generally very poor, which is unfortunate, really, because I'm sure in the past a lot of these places were genuinely very good and employed great local journalists, but not the case anymore with them. But that's the modern world, really, isn't it? Print is dying. So yeah, the fine for not attending court, I'm not sure I agree there. He probably got the fine for watching TV without a license. The fact that he stormed out, was shouting and bawling at the judge, shows that the guy probably just can't control his mouth. So talked or shouted at the TV licensing officers. They just wrote down everything he said, maybe took some video and some pictures or something like that, took him to court, and because he didn't show up they won. Yeah, and then he's just dug himself a deeper hole. So yeah, that's my take on it, but of course we'll probably never know. Only him and the enforcement officers that turned up know the truth, and let's be honest. James Rogan writes on the same video again, I never ever open or read any letters I get from the shit TV company. Fair play, it's one way of dealing with it, James. Yeah, if you recognise the return address, I mean, even without the return address, their envelopes are quite distinctive. They can't help themselves. Yeah, if you want to just put it straight in the bin without opening it, fine. yeah, if you go for it. Me personally, I'm just a bit obsessive. I always open them and then then see it's TV licensing. I always double check just in case. One word of warning though, my partner recently got a letter from the NHS, and that had a Darlington return address, and I believe it was even DL98 as well, because I saw it with their name on it. And initially thought, hang on, why are they sending my partner TV licensing letters? What's gone on here? How have they done that? What's going on? And it turned out to be from the NHS. So, yeah, maybe just open them before you bin them, James, just in case. Just in case. Jockster. That's a good name, Jockster. Mr. Jock, Mr. Stir, right, that's not a lead roof, more like copper or zinc. Same video again, yeah, because I was reading through the article and they had a picture of the courthouse, and I think I said, oh, it looks like they've got a lead roof there, and I think I said, wouldn't it be ironic if someone stole the lead off the court roof? I suppose it would be, especially if they got caught and then had to go to that court and stand there and be grilled by the judge and sentenced for stealing the lead off the very courthouse, probably while there's just water pouring in around them. But yeah, I'm not a roofer. I don't really know anything about roofs other than they keep the water off my head in my house. Yeah, it might be copper or it might be zinc. I mean, to my knowledge, they especially copper, still have a reasonably high scrap value, so it might get nicked anyway. Who knows? Alright, moving on. Danny Crotch. I apologise for mocking you if that's your real name, but we've had Jockster and Crotch. Knock it off. I got one the same as yours the other day, and like you, I'm enraged by the fact that they put my... hang on. I am enraged by the fact they put my address in the threatening sentence. This was on the HD remake of Letter Number 3. This is the one that I reported to the police. They were as much help as a chocolate fireguard. Yeah, and I've responded there. Get it reported. The more people who do it, the more likely they are to do something about it. Yeah, if you get one like the one that I had in Number 3, I'll put a link in the description to it as well. Yeah, get it reported. I don't expect the police will do anything about it, at least not for a while, but all of these things, the police love data and databases and collecting it and such like, and they love having their little statistics to make themselves look good. Ooh, look at how much crime we've caught and all this lot. So yeah, the more people that report it, at the very least that statistic on crimes reported about TV licensing will start to grow. So, and eventually, maybe it'll only be in a local area, so one chief constable who's looking to make themselves look good will see, oh, hang on, that's growing, or maybe it'll become a national thing. That statistic will grow by, hopefully, enough that someone pays attention to it. But, yeah, get it reported, get the statistics up, and, yeah, that's how these places think, really. Right, next we have Harry N. King 777. This is on TV licensing number 2, about TV licensing harassing Claudia Lawrence's mum. The Sun is a very good newspaper. Don't agree. Mac Attack 14 is back. Does the BBC require a bullshit license? This is on the same video as before. No, I don't think they do. I mean... Well, I've never heard of such a thing. I've heard of livestock licenses. I suppose if you keep bulls, that's something of a bullshit license. But yeah, yeah. If one ever is invented, I'd argue that the police need one just as much as well as banks and energy companies and the governments. And yes, it should be revoked without warning. That's it. No more bullshit from you. Anyway, all right. Let's carry on. Andy Meadows has left 2 comments on the same video. This was the HD remake of Letter Number 2. They are coming for me. So the first one he made was, the first one he made is the bottom one, but yeah, whatever. You should say to them, if I am on the loo, am I watching TV, yes or no? If I am rock climbing, am I watching TV, yes or no? If I am having sex, am I watching TV, yes or no? If the answer is no, then I am not watching TV and your license is not needed. I could say that to them, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not sure what they would say back. I mean, you could watch TV on the loo. You can have a TV in the bathroom, or you can just watch it on your phone. Yeah, make sure you wash your phone and your hands afterwards. But yeah, watching TV while rock climbing, not recommended. I've been rock climbing in my youth. I felt the need to concentrate on what I was doing. Yeah. If I'm having sex, am I watching TV? I mean, no, you should really be concentrating on your partner and having sex, you know, but, I mean, I suppose you could. It's not unsafe, although you might get a good slap from your partner if you do it, but, yeah, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, are they the only 3 activities you partake in, Andy? Rock climbing, shagging and shitting. I mean, if that's what you want to do, fair play, mate. Yeah, I mean, I have quite a lot of hobbies. Yeah, having sex and shitting is 2 of them, but yeah, okay, right. Next comment. The names on the letters are fake. It's to get you to call them, which will then cost you. I got to refunds, 1 because I called them, and 2 for doing the form online, but I won't be doing it anymore. 4 years and happy. What? Oh, right, I think I see what you mean. The names on the letters are fake. Yeah, I think we've all established that Scott Robson isn't a real person. Yeah, and it's to get you to call them. Yeah, the letters do make you want to ring them, or they want you to ring them. 'Cause, yeah, once they get you on the phone, they can start ramping up the high pressure sales techniques, which no doubt they're trained in doing with you. I think what he means there is he got 2 refunds, not he got to the refund like that was a destination. Yeah, it makes sense now. Yeah, 2 refunds. 1, so you rang them, got a refund, and then you did the form online and got another refund. I mean, that's their cock up. Doubt you did both of them at the exact same time. Even if you did, they probably weren't processed at the exact same time, so whoever did the second refund for you should have noticed. But they'd probably allege that you'd committed fraud there. But, you know, whatever, chances are they're not going to bloody notice or care, are they? It's their own cock up, but yeah, at least I think that's what you mean. But anyway, thanks for commenting, and thanks for following. You get this little red thing at the side of you, Andy. Yeah, thanks for following, and hopefully you're enjoying my content going forward. Right, Susie has written, I've actually seen quite a few comments from you, Susie. Yeah, thanks for following along, thanks for commenting. It's always good to see repeat offenders. Yeah, this is on the HD remake of Letter Number 4. Yeah, Letter Number 4 is actually exactly the same as the one that I've just done, Letter Number 9 as it turned out. But anyway, they're not official, they're nothing, that's just misleading, and they can't do anything. If you don't let them in, just don't speak to them, keep that door shut. Yes, spot on there, Susie. Yeah, don't talk to them, don't engage, just keep the door shut. So if you do happen to open the door, because I mean, you may not recognise them for what they are until they identify themselves, just shut it back and say no thanks, shut the door. They rely on you engaging with them and saying the wrong thing. Like I said, anything you say will be used against you by these pricks. So yeah, just say nothing, just goodbye. But yeah, spot on advice there, Susie. Anthony Robinson, I've been getting these for the last 10 years since I stopped watching TV. This is on letter number 7, yeah, which was the new letter, new tactics. Yeah, unfortunately, Anthony, you probably get them for the next 10 years as well. It seems like they can't knock it off ever. Yeah, I remember first receiving these letters back when I was a student. I moved into a shared house. None of us had a TV. didn't really need one either. But we still got no end of letters through the post. Just ignore them, they all just went in the bin. Alright, moving on. Moondance 212. It should not be called a TV license, it should be called a BBC license. This is the same letter again, letter number 7. Yeah, and I agree with you, Moondance, it probably will be called that at some point. Yeah, I honestly think it is going that way. The whole idea of needing a license to watch live TV is probably going to be scrapped, and then it will become you pay it just for access to the BBC. They may not call it a license at that point. It may end up just being like, you know, the BBC subscription if they do go subscription only. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. Really don't. I notice you have a motorbike as your profile picture though, so I'm going to go and snoop at your profile now because I like motorbikes and it looks like you have one very similar to mine. So yeah, back in a minute. That's a nice bike you've got there from what I can see in your profile picture. If you have a way of sending me more pictures of it, I love looking at motorbikes. Does look rather similar to mine there. It's got similar front forks, the indicators and the lights, what I can see of them in the profile picture look to be very similar. The gauges look to be similar as well. Nice cruiser style bike. But yeah, be interested to see what you've got. Love looking at people's bikes. Alright, let's not get too far off topic. Right, we've got 3 here from Like a Boss Man. Okay, we'll do them one at a time. So, first one was on letter number 4, the IN00A whatever. We are the only country in the world who has to pay a license to have a TV to a criminal organisation that uses gangster tactics to get money from people, including vulnerable and elderly. If the government still can't see it's effing crazy, then they must be being paid off and they got their fingers in the billion-dollar pie. Yeah, it sounds extreme, but unfortunately I'm struggling to disagree with you, if I'm perfectly honest. Is the BBC a criminal organisation? Well, we're not talking about a bloody Mexican drug cartel here or the mafia, but things like the whole Jimmy Savile scandal. Do I believe that everybody in the BBC was oblivious to what he was? No, not at all. I think a lot of people had suspicions and rumours, but no proof that they could act upon. I think there was some people, may only be a couple or a small handful, but I think some knew what he was up to. I don't think anyone knew the full extent of what he'd done. We're talking potentially thousands of victims, but I think a lot of people knew at least some of what he was like. But yeah, so, and are those people criminals for keeping it to themselves? I mean, I don't know what the law is, but I'm happy to call them criminals. Gangster tactics, well, I mean, TV licenses aren't going around breaking your legs or something like that, but they're certainly using criminal tactics to intimidate people. Yeah, including the vulnerable and the elderly. The government still can't see it's crazy and they've got their fingers in the billion-dollar pie. Yeah, they probably have. I've become a real cynic in my 30s, but yeah, especially at the moment, the Tory government, they've all got their fingers in these businesses. Yeah, they've all, you just know they will own shares in like energy companies which are now making massive profits because they've put the prices up to stupid amounts. And the banks as well, oh, there's nothing we can do, we have to put your mortgages up because the interest rate's gone up. Good news, guys, we're making billions in extra profit. Oh, so your rates didn't need to be that high. Yeah, especially Rishi Sunak, you just know the amount of money he's got. He's got his fingers in some of these organisations. So, alright, next one from Like a Boss Man. This one was on TV licence letter number 1, the first one I ever did. Says, you're not alone, matey, we have had enough of them, and why is it that we are the only country in the world that's doing this? Other countries can't believe that the UK has to pay a licence to have a TV. They think it's insane, and I think they're right. I think I mentioned in another video, or I might have cut it out actually because I was rambling. There is another country I found that has one, Bangladesh. Yeah, and they have lots of channels and you need a license over there just to own a television on there. They're a bit stricter with it. But again, completely different country, different set of rules, different culture, so not really any comparison. But yeah, we're not the only country in the world that has a TV license, but you're right, in the modern day it is pretty insane that it's carrying on. I think its days are numbered. Alright, next one. This is Like a Boss Man again. Has anyone had a letter saying because they've Because they've been ignoring the letters, the investigation has escalated. Should I be scared? And if someone came around saying they were doing a survey on what programs are best to watch, I'd probably fall for that one, as I do like to chat about films and stuff. I'm not aware of them using that tactic, if I'm perfectly honest with them. I mean, I suppose they could do it as a survey. It's a bit underhand, though. Normally, their handbook, at least as far as I know, requires that they identify themselves. They have an ID card. You must identify yourself straight away that you're from TV licensing. But yeah, I suppose that is one way of sneakily gathering evidence. You know, doing a survey on what you think the best shows are. Oh yeah, I was watching Dancing on Ice or something last night. That's a show that's shown live, so if you admit to watch, at least I think it's shown live, so if you admit to watching it last night, then they know that you've been doing it there and then. Yeah, whether or not that's then admissible in court, I don't know. Ask Black Belt Barrister for it. I think that caution that they give you, although you laugh in the face of TV licensing officers, but you know, the police use it as well. You know, they tell you it for a reason. Anything you say may be given in evidence, so if they just trick you into it, that's suspect, is that? But yeah, and I reply, yeah, that sort of letter that the investigation's been escalating, that's fairly standard. They're escalating this, opening that, final stages of all this. Yeah, it's just nonsense designed to intimidate you. Just ignore it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, regarding if someone turns up doing a survey, I suppose the way to protect yourself is, yeah, just say who you are, who are you, who you're working for. You know, what do you want? What's all this about? And then you can immediately say if you want to talk to them. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to go in for a survey when they're gathering evidence for TV licensing. It's another thing to lie to you about it. That is, I imagine there's a line there that's been crossed. And also, it would be pretty telling. Let's say these people were just genuinely going around doing surveys. You know, it was just genuinely what they were doing, nothing sinister about it. They have no problem telling you. They'll probably have some sort of ID card. Most places that send people going door knocking have that. You know, yeah, you know, you need it really. You know, and say, oh, I work for, I don't know, Surveys Arrows or something like that, and we're just doing this and the other thing, and this is my ID card with the company logo on. Yeah, if they turn and say, oh, I'm with TV licensing, then you just say, oh, sorry, not interested. But yeah, if you ask for ID, the only ID they're going to have, unless TV licensing want to issue fake IDs, which is proper dodgy, yeah, the only one they're going to have is the one that says TV licensing on it, in which case you just go, ah, sorry, not interested. So yeah, that's the way to protect yourself with it. Independent Voice. I just received a similar letter. This is on letter number 7 again, but with one date specified, and states could be any date for a visit, but rarely stay in the house, so they won't waste their time. Yeah, I bet they do a lot of that actually. I bet 9 out of 10 times they go up to a door and just don't get an answer. People go out during the day, they go to work, they have jobs, so it could be any date for a visit. They want you to think that. They can't specify a date because chances are they're not coming, so yeah. Sounds again fairly standard. Chuck it in the bin. Susie is back. Well, welcome back, Susie. Like I said earlier, good to see people, you know, making repeated comments, watching them all. I'm glad to have you along. They're not getting anything from me anymore. Told them I don't need a TV license, but they still keep sending stupid letters. I just keep the door shut. Thank you for sharing this with us. Yeah, unfortunately, you tell them once, tell them twice, tell them till you're blue in the face, they still keep sending out stupid letters. Doesn't seem to be any way to stop them, so just let them scream into the void. Oh, this one. Now, I'm not going to talk about the comment because it's got nothing to do with TV licensing, but I had to include it because I love this username. Elvis De Presley. That's great. That's a great username, mate. Yeah. Alright, carrying on. John Doe, can you please upload 10:32 to 11:05? This was on letter number 8, part 1, back to the old tricks. I want to send it to a mate, and I was happy to oblige. In fact, let's watch that now, because I make myself laugh. Trust me, I'm a police officer. I think he said contempt of court, but basically, well, yeah, it will be because the warrant is an order of the court to let them in. He refused to do that, so yeah. Although I did like that line. Trust me, I'm a police officer.
Trust me, I'm a police officer.
Oh, fucking hell.
Fucking hell. Oh, trust me, I'm a police officer. Fucking hell. Anyway, let's carry on. I'm getting off topic. We're nearly at the end of the letter. I'm nearly there.
I'm off topic again. I'm nowhere near the end of the comments. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Oh dear. There's probably something seriously wrong with me.
Including the jurors.
What it's doing now.
And so I
don't want to watch Daryl Brooks. There's probably something seriously wrong with me laughing at myself like that, but oh dear. Alright, let's move on. Davaro Smith. I apologise if I accidentally call you Davros. Yeah, big Doctor Who fan. So, this is on letter number 8, part 1. Yeah, I stopped opening my threatograms. I just throw them unopened in the bucket. The latest one was in a red envelope 4 months after Christmas. A bit late for a Christmas card. Well, Davros... sorry... Well, Davaro, yeah, with all the postal strikes, it could well have been a Christmas card. you know, it's come through that late. You know, some poor elderly relatives probably spent a lonely and cold Christmas, you know, huddled in a £10 hoodie with, you know, garlic bread prints on it, trembling at the sound of footsteps outside the door in case British Gas are coming to beat them up and get their money out of them. You know, they reach out to you in a desperate attempt to end the loneliness. You know, just think of that you know, a poor elderly person. They're just desperate for some human contact. They reach out to you, and you just threw them in the bucket. You horrible git. So I'm joking. That's probably not what it was. It probably was a letter from TV Licence. Unless you have relatives. Do you have elderly relatives in Darlington? Yes, best be careful. You know, be nice to your grandmother, Davaro. Yes, nasty man. Next up, Andy Meadows is back again. 2 comments on the same video. To be fair, I do that sometimes. I'll leave a comment and then later I'll have another thought, leave another comment. Yeah, I think I did it like 4 or 5 times on one video at once. So yeah, we've got my mum has not had a TV for 10 years. She's license free, full stop. Both of these are on TV Licence letter number 8, part 2. Happy for your mum. Yeah, I do. Hopefully she's not getting the threatening letters, or if she is, hopefully she's not been affected by them in the way that TV licensing want her to be. But keep an eye on her just in case. And yeah, next one. I feel left out. I've had 1 letter in 4 years. I was hoping for more to line my cat tray with. Well, maybe send them your own letter. You know, as you've not written any nonsense letters to me, I have no option but to proceed with the final stage of my investigation. If it is found you are depriving me of cat litter material, you may be interviewed under caution that I've made up. Give it a try. Send a letter to them, see what they say. Could be funny. Tony Tasker on TV Licence letter number 8, part 1. Anything you say may be used in a court of law. Please, Mr. TV Licence Man, stop hitting me! Yeah, write that down. So, or better yet, if you're filming the interaction, as you should, just like throw yourself on the ground and start rolling around screaming, "No, no, no, TV Licence Man!" You'll probably find he leaves the property very quickly. Yeah, yeah, go for it, mate. It'd be funny. Alright, next up, Blue Moon. This is on TV letter number 8, part 2. Haven't paid the TV tax for about 14 years, and I watch live TV. Well, Mr. Moon, yeah, I don't advocate for criminal behaviour. I'm not so naive as to think it doesn't happen. I know there probably are people out, well, there are people out there that watch TV when they don't have a licence against the law, and I don't advocate for breaking the law. I'm also not an advocate for putting your crimes in writing on the internet. I mean, I'm not going to stop you if you want to go for it. I'll leave that comment there, but you may want to reconsider that, mate. That's not ideal. Christopher Fitzgerald. I had a red one a few weeks ago, not the first I've had over the last year or two. I'm keeping them for when or if one of their people knock on my door so I can return them to that person with an invitation to partake in sex and travel, i.e. fuck off. Oh dear, I've never heard it called that. An invitation to partake in sex and travel. I'm sorry, sir. It means fuck off. That's a good one, is that? I might try that the next time someone pisses me off. Are you really keeping them? Because chances are, mate, they're not coming. Just get them in the bin. Oh, we've got a 2-in-1 from Bri McIlroy. Both of these on letter number 7. What I don't understand is that some people think that just because a TV license goon is nice and polite and maybe in a suit and tie, that it makes him a nice con man rather than a scruffy, rude one. Completely misses the point that they are still trying to con you. And in fact, the polite ones are the worst, as they are sneaky, smarmy, false people. Yet people are so thick that they think they're okay, even though they're out to scam, but they're polite as for fuck's sake, wake up, you dummies. Yeah, they probably are. I've heard there was a story in another comment that I think I covered in a previous video. Yeah, very polite lady came to the door of a chap's daughter. You know, was very reassuring. Don't worry, you know, we'll get you back on track. You know, blah blah blah. She was paying monthly or something and had missed her payment by a short time, and obviously that then bumps you to the top of the list for a visit, because you know they're almost certain that you're going to be watching TV, so they can go and catch you out. But yeah, it was very nice, and the young lady who was the victim obviously talked, you know, but was put at ease, you know, oh, don't worry about it, we'll sort you out, and then ended up being taken to court, and it ended up costing him a lot more money, or rather cost her dad a lot more money, because you know, she couldn't afford what TV licensing were doing to her. So yeah, even if they are well dressed and polite, just shut the door. You know, be under no illusion they are dangerous. Alright, and second one was, I've already had one of these letters, and it's the usual desperate begging or threatening letter in which nothing come of it. It's just a change of strategy some muppet at the BBC or Capita thinks if it's changed slightly, and hopefully some people will fall for it. The BBC is so desperate now, with thousands cancelling their licence, they're trying different methods. Just bin the letter, it's complete bullshit from a very desperate BBC. You're right, I remember number 7, it was a change of tactics. It was definitely different. They were playing on the current cost of living crisis that's caused by the government. They were leaning on it. Was a different letter. I admit some people probably got it before me, so there were elements of it though that were just the same as what we've seen here. It's just threatening people. Yeah, they were, well, it goes back to the first comment. They were trying to be nice. Oh yeah, we understand, but we're still out to get you. So yeah. Alright, let's carry on. This video's already long enough. I always do this. Unreal 1206. As someone who's been licensed free since 2017 and not watched or recorded live TV or used iPlayer since that same year, I have seen that same letter you featured in your videos several times over the past 6 years. This was on number 7, the change of tactics. So you can't have seen that one because the cost of living crisis that it was responding to or referring to, that letter, is a relatively new thing, but you've probably seen elements of it several times because, let's be honest, they're all just boiled down to the same character, these. But I found the best way to deal with these letters is to recognise the sender address on the back of the envelope, as you did in this video, yep. Then right on the front, unwanted, unsolicited, junk and spam mail, return to sender. Pop it in the local post boxes. You never even have to read these letters again and be satisfied that the BBC is having to deal with disposing of the spam letter at their own cost. And be honest, mate, I don't agree that's the best way of disposing with them. Just rip them up and put them in the bin. I have a post box relatively close to me, but I still have to, well, it's probably about a 15-minute walk. I tend to just drive there when I've used it, but I can only count on one hand the number of times I've actually used it in the 5 years that I've lived here. I think it's more like 7 now. Yeah, it still takes effort to go to the post box. Just put it in your bin, it's far less effort. And also, the letters, well, they're not going back to the BBC, they're going back to TV licensing, assuming they're even going back. I don't think they are. I've heard rumours, and they make sense as well, they make perfect sense, that TV licensing have an agreement with Royal Mail to just dispose of the letters rather than bring them back. won't surprise me at all. The amount that they send out, yeah, so yeah, it's probably easier for TV licensing and easier for Royal Mail to just bin them and not bother delivering them, because all you're actually doing there is costing Royal Mail money. Yeah, TV licensing aren't paying for it, so yeah, yeah, it's not the best way of dealing with them, mate. Sorry, just chuck them in the bin. That's the best way of dealing with them. Or have a wheel of destruction like I do. Tarmac Demon, who doesn't generally comment on my TV licensing content, but does a lot of my other stuff. Yeah, glad to have you on board, Tarmac Demon. Yeah, thank you for following and commenting and everything that you do. This is responding to one of my community posts. I posted a picture of the letter just after it arrived. I always try and do that just to let people know there's a TV licensing video coming soon. But you seem to be getting a lot of threats. Have you upset somebody? Not to my knowledge. I haven't. I try and just be nice to everyone. And hopefully I've upset TV licensing. That would be quite funny. I don't honestly think they're aware of me. They don't even know my name. They think my name is Mr. Occupier. But yeah, I'm certainly not trying to upset anyone. But yeah. Alright, moving on. Bree McIlroy back again. Oh, this is a bit of a long comment. This is on letter number 4. BBC licensed thugs have had things their way for decades, but the BBC is now a dinosaur and seems to think they can still play their game, but people are getting wise, like how the TV vans were just loaded with computers with wires leading nowhere. Now we are getting wise to their threatening letters, which are worded in such a way to frighten some people, but people are now just binning these futile letters from a desperate TV corporation. It's having around 70,000 people cancel their TV license every month, and all because they are too arrogant to operate the way other TV stations do to earn their money. So yeah, I agree. The BBC, I mean, yeah, I think if it's going to carry on the way it is doing, it's becoming a dinosaur very quickly. I think it still has the opportunity and the potential to change and be better than it is. I think being made to compete, you know, on the open market, it may be good for it, may be worse for it. It may stop making, you know, it may stop making things like films and your content like, I don't know, say like Doctor Who that people actually enjoy, and just become like ITV, where every other programme's a bloody phoning competition for karaoke acts. I don't know, but yeah, the whole TV licensing thing is very outdated now and needs to change. Yeah, the TV license vans, they just put stuff in them, you know, to make them look posh. Yeah, put aerials and such like on the roof. Yeah, it was never. They were never a thing. They were just a gimmick to scare people. You know, driving them around towns all day. I heard once that's from someone who used to be employed to drive them, and it literally just had like a load of junk in the back. The guy was employed to drive it around and pretend to be detecting things, but there was nothing in the back. He just filled it with his own personal crap and used it to transport, you know, just to go on his own personal little errands in this detective van. It was, yeah, there was nothing in it. 70,000 people cancel their TV license every month. I haven't seen that sort of statistic, but if you have it, then send it in. But yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, just bin the letters. Right. Douglas Todd writes on the HD remake of letter number 7. Oh, I saw this one, I just didn't really know what to say about it. Write this on the letter. To whom it may concern, nowhere does it state that I, the living, breathing, flesh and blood, sovereign man or woman, are liable to support, fund or pay taxes of any sort. Taxes are voluntary and need my consent. No corporations are above these unalienable rights of ours, which are levy free. A lien can't be put on these rights. That is what it means. Unalienable. As I don't watch any BBC programmes or live broadcasts, I will never require a TV licence. I mean, where to start? Yeah, if you are a subscriber, Douglas, and you unsubscribe, I'm sorry, but you're chatting shit. You really are. Yeah, that whole sovereign citizen, it's born out of America. People think that declare themselves as sovereign. I'm not a person, I'm the man, I'm the living, breathing man, and therefore I'm not subject to your laws. It's all just absolute shit. Go on Law Talk with Mike. He has hours and hours and hours and hundreds of videos, probably thousands of videos now, of these people, you know, trying this sovereign citizen defence. They just end up in prison. It just always happens. Taxes are voluntary. No, they're not. So they don't need your consent to impose taxes. And the TV licence isn't a tax. And also, that's not what unalienable means. It's nothing to do with putting a lien on your rights or a levy on your rights. Yeah, the only bit that made any sense was the last bit. As I don't watch any BBC programmes or live broadcasts, I will never require a TV licence. Yeah, that's about the only bit there you said that actually is true and makes any sense. The rest of it, mate, you're just chatting complete shit. Sorry, but you are. Alright, moving on. ADW00000, who is a public subscriber. I wishing could give you a million. Thank you very much, ADW. I mean, whether you mean £1 million or 1 million subscribers, either way, yeah, thank you very much. If you think I deserve it, yeah, it's good to see positive comments about what I do sometimes. But yeah, thank you very much. Oh Lord, how do I pronounce that? Balthasar Boma. Excellent name there, mate. I apologise if I'm saying it right, but that's a good, strong name there. Are the police paid by the BBC? No, but they have been known to act like they do. Yeah, they do sometimes accompany TV licensing officers with them. There was that one recently that went on TikTok where I do believe TV licensing had a warrant. In that case, I agree, it probably was appropriate for at least one officer to be present for that, because that, you know, could turn quite... Yeah, it could go off the rails. You could say, you know, we have a warrant, you have to let us in, you don't have a choice. You know, it could kick off quite quickly. So I agree it was appropriate to have a police officer present there, but there have been other examples of they're just going door to door with licence enforcement officers for what reason? No reason at all. And normally people answer it, and it's not the police stood in the background, you know, saying, oh, we're just here to, you know, to keep the peace and such like, but otherwise staying out of it. They're normally the ones banging on the door and saying, oh, we're here with TV licensing, you need to let us in. You know, acting like they work for TV licensing. So, yeah, they're not paid by the BBC, but I think they sometimes think that they are. Barry Brownless, anything to screw the public. Yeah, that sounds like the Tory government. A few years ago, after stating that pensioners will be exempt from the licence, they changed their minds again. Oh, no, a few years ago, mate, they said that they would have to pay it, and then they changed it back. They were exempt for a long time. Oh, never mind. At the same time, the MPs were trying to get legislation that MPs would not need a TV licence for life. Sounds about right, yeah. All out for themselves. Gladly, this wasn't put through, and they've probably put the licence fee onto their expenses anyway. Yeah, probably. Let's be honest. Just tell them to sling the rooks if they turn up at your house. Yeah. Or you just don't say anything. You just say no thank you and close the door. You don't have to do anything more than that. Oh, you fucked it, Barry. It's an act of Parliament, not the law, when they state you're breaking it. They're the same thing, mate. That Parliament passes laws. An act of Parliament is law. That's how it works. Going over to Black Belt Bioster, he'll explain it to you. Right, last two, very recent these. The time of recording, I've just released letter number 9. Yep, District Driver, who's a public subscriber. Thank you very much, District Driver. You've just broke the age-old myth that shit doesn't burn. I didn't know. I don't know of any such myth about shit not burning. I've never tried to burn shit. I generally just flush it, but yeah, I suppose I just have. Yeah, maybe give me a call, some production company. Give me a call, BBC. Let's relaunch Mythbusters. I'll do it. just don't go on YouTube. No, don't go on my YouTube channel. You don't need to see that. No, I'll take the job, BBC. Alright, and then George N1. I'm pleased to inform you I got my A36 today, and it is identical. Is it possible they are doing these reference numbers by county or something? That's a good point, actually, George, there. yeah, mine was the A35, was it? Yeah, mine was the A35. So either you're one letter ahead of me, or maybe they are by county. I don't know what county you're in, George, so maybe. But then I'm sure my last one was 31, which then makes me think that they are sequential. Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe those numbers are sequential, possibly, if they even mean anything. Honestly, I don't think they do. Yeah, A36. There was someone actually put a comment, ages and ages ago now, I'm not going to look for it, who had, I think, the A35 at the time I was getting the A31. So, whilst the content of the letter is identical, maybe there is a sequence still to them. Who knows? Personally, I won't worry about it. I think they're just chatting shit. The reference numbers are shit, so, yeah, who cares? Just put it in the bin, mate. Yeah. Alright, any more? Let's refresh quickly. Alright, so none at time of recording. So, that was... alright, so yeah, that has been your comments since the release of my last comments video. Whilst I was editing together the letter video that came out short time ago, I did originally say that I was going to add on the comment section to the end of it. I decided when I was editing together, oh, you know what, that's at a nice length, we'll put that out. So I think going forward, the comments videos are always going to be a separate video. Just cause I like them. I like reading your comments and I like responding to them as well in a video, so I'm going to keep doing it. Even if nobody watches, I'll probably keep doing it. So yeah, for now, I've got some editing to do because this has been recording way too long, so I need to cut a lot of this out, a lot of my rambling. So for now, I shall say thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching this video on doing stuff and filming it. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.